All right, I believe we have begun recording. Someone is asking where is it happening? It's right here. I hope you can see. Okay. All right. So I believe I have shared the link and every other person should join. I think maybe some people don't understand that you actually have to click at the top where the microphone is showing for them to actually join in. And hopefully they should be able to see my posts now and actually watch and join. All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the $100,000 book blueprint. And my name is Edirin Edewor. I'm your host. I don't know if you've heard of me before or you've probably joining any of my webinars for the very first time, but I am a multiple Amazon bestselling author. I'm a speaker. I'm a coach. I'm a consultant. I'm also a publisher. And my entire business model is built off the backs of actual books. I started my business basically with one book called The A to Z of Ebook Publishing, where I created a book to teach people how they can also write and publish their own books and get published on platforms like Amazon and make money from their books. That's basically how I started. June 2020, June 20th, 2017 was when I got started. And that's one evening where I talked about the book and showed people how they can also publish their books on Amazon. It changed my life for good. But that's not what I want to talk about today. What I want to focus on is actually something else. Okay. That same book has been a yardstick to measure the growth of my business. And there was a very, very important event that happened back in 2020 during the middle of the pandemic that showed what's possible for somebody who wants to build a career as a writer or as an author. Okay. So moving on. For those of you who may know me, who are subscribed to my newsletter, you probably got an email from me this afternoon where I shared. The email was basically, the subject was on how I sold 256 books in 48 hours. And what you're seeing right in front of you is proof of that. In 2020, during the pandemic, a friend of mine, his name is John Obidi, coincidentally today is his birthday, and he wanted to create a summit. It was the biggest summit that Africa had ever seen, a virtual summit. And he asked me to run points and to basically be a program manager to, organize, run, create the event and work, behind the scenes. I was very happy to do that. I was very happy to be a part of such a huge undertaking. We had over 15,000 people registered for the event and we had thousands and thousands of people joining live for every single one of those sessions. So because of the fact that I was going to be working so hard behind the scenes, I didn't want to speak, even though I was already an established speaker back in 2020. But I didn't want to speak, because I felt I would be too busy. I won't have time to be able to be speaking and then be checking things that are going on behind the scenes. However, John insisted that I teach, that I speak, that I was the only person among the line of speakers who had knowledge on book publishing the way, in the huge expertise sense of the matter. Almost everybody who were speaking, including the amazing late Ubon King, people like Olakune Shoriyan, Trisha Bees, all these people, Jimmy Tewe, Paul Fo, they were all speakers, including the amazing John Obidi himself. But, I felt like, what do I want to say compared to all these giants? But he was like, you are the expert on book publishing. Come and talk to people about how they can actually build their brands, business, and influence through book publishing. And also, one of the things that he told us to do, all those speakers, he said, okay, we're not paying you. He didn't pay us. He did not pay any single person, right? However, we had the opportunity to be able to pitch a product or a service to the audience of people who were listening to us. I spoke on the second day and I was the second speaker and I was the very first speaker to actually cross 3,000 live viewers. I wish I had the screenshot to share to you. I had about 3,200 viewers by the time, at my peak moment. in that summit. That was the biggest crowd I'd ever spoken to. 3,200 people listening to me live. And I could have sold anything. I could have sold $100,000 course. I could have sold probably even a 500,000 Naira coaching session, and I would have been very happy even if I got one or two people to buy from that. However, I had a strategy. So while other people were selling 20,000 Naira, 50,000 Naira programs, courses, and so on and so forth, I decided to go back to what I knew. And what I knew is books. When it comes to books, it's me. All right. When it comes to publishing books, when it comes to selling books, when it comes to launching a brand, using a book, that is what I know. And I decided to go back to the basics of what I know. I couldn't obviously try to do what other people were doing because it's not me. So I focused on my own self. And I actually put out the book that I'd published for the past 4 years. The book that I published back in 2017 that has already been selling since then. It wasn't a brand new book. It wasn't something I was launching for the first time. It was a small ebook, a digital book called The A to Z of Ebook Publishing. And that book, has been the one book that's anchored my entire message since I began my brand, since I began my business, since I began my passion and my following. And guess what? The book actually sells for 4,000 Naira because that's just how valuable it is. However, I decided to do a discount. I gave people who were watching the live broadcast a 48-hour time frame to actually get the book at 2,000 Naira only. So if you look at the dashboard here in the screen that you're looking at, look at the dashboard, you see the total amount of money here, 512,000 Naira. For those of you who are watching outside of Nigeria, this is actually in Nairas, okay, not dollars, this is in Naira. All right. But this is over 500,000 Naira in basically 48 hours. This was the day that I spoke, May 16th, into 17 and then 18th. So you can see that the smallest amount was 18 because that was the day that I turned off the sale. And you can see here that 96% of everybody who tried to make payments were successful. We only had like 11 errors. So in total, we had 256 sales. 256 sales at 2,000 Naira gives you exactly 512. So these are not fabricated things. This is basically a screenshot from my dashboard. Those of you who know me, you know that I don't always share screenshots like this unless I have something to explain to you, to prove to you that something like this is possible for you. In just 48 hours, I was able to make over 500,000 from a 2,000 Naira product. Not 10,000, not 20,000, not 50,000, but a 2,000 Naira product. But that's not all. People may say, oh, but you could have sold anything. Why did you? I mean, these are hundreds and hundreds of people willing to listen to you. In fact, what you don't know is over the period of the entire virtual summit, I actually sold 400 books, not just 2,000, 400 books. And people were buying the books even when the price had reverted back to 4,000 Naira. So this is not the entire cost of, this is not the entire profit or income that I made from that summit. I just wanted to give you, I wanted to prove a point by showing you what was possible in just 2 days, in just 48 hours, right? So what did I do? I knew that the people who were going to be buying this book were going to be leaving their phone numbers and their email addresses with me, which means that I could reach out to them as well. So 2,000 Naira was basically the cost of acquiring new customers for my business. When I was actually selling this book, I did not think of it as I want to make profit. I thought of it as I want to get new customers for my business. All right. So these people that bought my book, I emailed them and I welcomed them, thanked them for buying my book, and told them about my Facebook group where I actually teach more things. And I told them, just because you've bought this, I'm going to give you an amazing discount. I have a class coming up in the next 1 week. It's called How to Launch and Sell Your Ebook and Make 6 Figures. It's basically the part 2 to this book that you've actually bought. Now, if you sign up, just because you signed up and bought this book from the summit, you get to attend this class at a 50% discount. The class was going to be selling at 20,000 Naira. I give them a 50% discount, and 110 people signed up for that class. You do the math. 110 people times 10,000 Naira each. Do the math in your head. Now, when I taught that class, I then told them that, hey guys, there's so much more you could do with publishing. You'll now probably know how to create an Amazon KDP account. Do you know that these books that you've published, you can actually sell them on Amazon? Do you also know that beyond just selling books on Amazon, there's something called low content products that you can actually publish on Amazon? I'm going to be creating and putting out a new course called the Amazon Printed Profits. Then it was called the Amazon Printed Profits Expo. And I said, everybody who gets on this particular program, because you've joined this program, when the course releases, it's going to be 60,000 naira. But because you've joined this program, I think I made a mistake in my email. I wrote that the course sold for 8,000, 10,000 was actually 8,000 naira. So everybody who was again in that cycle, who had purchased that class, ended up buying a course for 8,000 naira. Over 80 people paid for that. From 512,000 to 1.1 million to 8 times 80 something, 8,000 times 80 something people. Do the math. But that was not all. Many of those people ended up working with me one-on-one in my coaching. Some of them joined my membership and my mastermind that December. Many of them also wanted to work with me one-on-one for publishing their books. And when you want to work with me one-on-one, my prices start at ₦1 million. So you do the math. By the end of that year, I had made $50,000, more than $50,000 from just one book. The reason why I'm sharing this story is not to impress you with figures or to impress you and tell you and make you think that, oh, she's a marketing maven or whatever. It's not about that. It's just to show you what one book can do for you. I did not sell a dozen books. I have about 9 published books, all of them doing very well. They're all bestsellers. But I decided to focus on just one that actually is the foundation of my business. And that's the one book that I constantly use when I wanted to put out something new, when I've wanted to put out a new program, when I wanted to put out a new membership or a mastermind. It's always been that one. My entire business has been foundation on book publishing. Now, there are many ways to kill a rat. There are many ways to be successful in business. You can go and do forex trading. You can go and do cryptocurrency. You can go and do graphic design. You can go and do web design. You can go and become a fitness coach. You can go and become a health coach. You can go and become a relationship coach. You can sell ideas on how to make money using Canva, or how to make money using the internet, or how to make money on YouTube. They are all valid. There are many, many parts to success. But what I'm sharing with you today is one that I've worked with for the past 7.5 years. That's been my go-to trusted platform that I've used to train over 40,000 people and has helped hundreds and hundreds of people to be able to build and scale their business, whether from their writing skills or from them publishing a book as well. Now, before we get started, I want you to know that when it comes to actually building a business, a blueprint that can generate over $100,000 for you in revenue, there is a machine that works the entire process. Have been sitting down and creating products or creating services and offers that make this kind of money. It's not something that you just do unintentionally. It's not something that you just wake up and just decide to do one day and then after 2 months you've forgotten about it. You're going to chase after the next shiny thing. No. There is a machine to it. There is a process to it. Now, this machine that I'm going to share with you has 4 different parts, 4 different gears in this machine, okay? And each gear turns the other gear to ensure that this machine runs smoothly. Somebody write gear in the comment section if you can, all right? There are 4 gears in this machine. And in order for this machine to run smoothly, you must understand that what I'm sharing with you and how it's going to work for you is to have a book. Not just any book, but specific types of books. Okay, so don't say, oh, I have a book that's published. Can I use this one to build my $100,000 business? Wait first. Before you jump into that, let's first of all see if the book you have actually helps or qualifies in that machine. So there are 4 types of books I have seen that actually help you to build this business. And these 4 types of books, I have created, books on that, except the memoir/autobiographical, which I'm currently writing right now, right? But the first type of book is called the framework or the methodology book. As the name suggests, it's basically a book that introduces your readers or your audience to your specific framework or a methodology in which you do something. It is not a framework you stole from somebody else's book or somebody else's class or someone else's course. No, it's one that you've been able to sit down and develop yourself. For example, when I share with you my machine, and by the time you see the end of the machine, I will share with you 1 gear at a time. When you see the end of it, you realize that what I'm about to share with you, you've never seen it anywhere before. This is going to be the first place that you're going to be seeing that gear or that machine the way I've created it. So my framework I'm about to share with you is simply called the $100,000 book blueprint, and that's a framework. Now, I could take this idea that I'm sharing with you in this webinar and I could turn it into a book, breaking down each and every single part of those gears, and it will become a book. And guess what? It is going to become a book. I will create a book out of this. Now, that's a framework or methodology book where you're basically showing people a new method or a new framework for achieving something. There are many, many books that teach you how to make $100,000 from your business. Don't get me wrong. There are many of them. Each of them have their frameworks and each of them work. However, there are certain frameworks that for some reason may not work for you, but some other frameworks may work for you. So as a scientist myself, I've realized that many times when something isn't working for me, I go back and I ask myself, what's wrong? How can I fix it to make it more efficient? How can I fix it to make it work better for me? And that's what I've done. I look at existing frameworks and I say, okay, this thing is great, but it could be better. How can I make it better? What terminology, what analogy, what instances, what experiences do I have that I can put into this thing to make it work? If, for example, you're somebody that knows how people can actually make $1,000 per week from using Canva, there are other Canva courses out there, but your own will stand different because you're infusing your knowledge, your experience, your skills, and specific things that only you know how to combine together to be able to make, that particular framework work for people. It's like soup or jollof rice, right? Everybody can cook jollof rice. Everybody has the ingredients, but the way in which the ingredients are combined and the time in which the jollof rice is being cooked, that is what will determine the taste. If somebody may put 1 spoon of salt and another person puts 3 tablespoons of salt, it's not going to taste the same, even though the ingredients are the same. Knowing how to measure the right ingredients in the right quantity, combining them in the right way would actually help you, create the same thing. So we have Nigerian jollof, we have Ghanaian jollof, basically the exact same ingredients in the both of them. What makes them different? I'm not about to start fights with Nigerians and Ghanaians. I'm just using an analogy. Please do not start anything in the comments. But I'm just using an analogy. What makes them different is simply the way in which the ingredients are measured and the technique in which it is cooked, okay? So that's what a framework does. You have a different technique. You have a different way in combining things to make things work for you in a certain way. Okay, so examples of books that are methodology books, like Atomic Habits by James Clear. If you've heard of Atomic Habits before, Atomic Habits is basically James Clear's framework for helping people to be able to achieve better habits using his own framework. If you go through that book, you will see his entire framework. He gives you an entirely different method for having good habits and doing away with bad habits. That is a methodology book. Another example is my book called Zero to Influence, How to Build Influence in Any Industry in 90 Days or Less. I have a 5-step framework that teaches people how to go from obscure and invisible to becoming a person of influence in 90 days. When you go through the book, you realize that there's a new methodology. There are tons and tons of books on influence, but this one has a different way in which those things are combined to give you results. The second type of book is the memoir or the autobiographical book. So this is a book where you basically share your life story, and in your life story, you are giving insights, you're giving knowledge, you're giving things that can help people solve a particular problem. Okay, say for example, you're a relationship coach and you're writing an autobiographical or a book or a memoir about your relationship. You're giving lessons inside of that book to help people solve problems. Okay, so an example of a memoir book or an autobiographical book is The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari by Robin Sharma. If you've not read that book before, please go and read it. Robin Sharma used to be a monk. He used to be a rich guy, and then he decided to sell his Ferrari and go the way of the monk, and has been happy since then. Another person who wrote an autobiographical book that teaches value about how to be extraordinary in life is Vishen Lakhiani, founder of Mind Valley. He wrote a book called The Code of the Extraordinary Mind. All right. That book is basically like an autobiographical book that chronicles his life's journey to get into where he is today. Another book that is a very popular autobiographical book or a memoir book is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. How many of us have at least heard of the book? If you've not read it, you've heard of it. Many of us, had our first introduction to personal development and financial education through Rich Dad Poor Dad's book by Robert Kiyosaki. He chronicled his life journey from when he was a little boy, and his dad was poor, but his friend's dad was rich, and that friend's dad became the rich dad that helped him to understand financial education. So that book is an autobiographical book that teaches you how you can actually build financial education, even if you did not have one before. Okay. That's it. Then a third type of book is the how-to book. This is the easiest book to write because it's basically just you telling people how to do something. So an example of a how-to book is my book that I launched, where I made 512,000 in 48 hours. That is called The A to Z of ebook publishing. It's a book that simply teaches you how to write and publish your book. How to write and publish your book. Okay, so another example of the how-to book is the 4-hour work week that basically teaches you how to quit your job and actually live a life of time freedom and financial freedom. Another example, Pitch Mastery by my friend Choma Ugudimpa, that teaches you how to create pitches for companies that will make them want to give you grants. Okay, so how to, a book where you're teaching people clearly, step-by-step processes, how to do something. That is a how-to book. Anybody who's listening to me right now, you can write a how-to book in less than a week. You know something, you know exactly how to do something very, very well, and you can write a how-to book about it in less than a week. Okay? So many times, many people, when they're starting out, before they even understand what their framework is, at least they know how to do something within their industry. They're able to write a how-to book. That's the first book I advise people who are just starting out, who've never written before but want to write a book. That's the first kind of book I advise you to start with. Then you can go into the framework book. Okay? The fourth kind of book is the guide book. This is basically a guide. It's like a how-to book, but it goes beyond the how-to book in that instead of you just giving people, the blueprint to say, okay, this is how to do something, now go and do it. The guidebook actually helps people who are reading the book to start doing the thing that they're teaching them how to do while they are still reading the book. So you see how guidebooks that have things like places for activities, places where, they give you a prompt at the end of each chapter so that you can then do something, places where it's almost like it's a workbook. It's kind of like a combination between an actual book and a workbook itself together. So that's an example of a guidebook. So, for example, I have a book called The Ultimate Business Plan for Online Business Owners. It explains, each concept of each chapter, and then there are places where you can actually fill in and write out, the prompts and the activities that are given you. By the time you're done with the book, you have an entire business plan for your online business. So that's an example of a guidebook. Another example is called the bullet journal method by Ryan Carroll, that basically teaches you how to journal. Another example is the self-love workbook for women by Megan Logan. Basically helps women go through the process of, rediscovering self-love for themselves. So these are the 4 types of books that can help you start the machine. Once you're able to write one of these books, you've actually done the first step. You've actually put together the body for your machine. Your machine is the $100,000 book blueprint, how you can turn your book into a money printing machine. Okay? So now that you know the type of book, you need to ask yourself, if you're an author already and you've written a book or you have an idea for a book, you need to ask yourself, this book that I want to write, where does it fall under? Is it a framework or methodology book? Is it a memoir or autobiographical? Is it a how-to book? Is it a guide? If it's not in any of these ones, then you probably would not be able to use that particular book to start the machine. It's like trying to put kerosene inside a car. It will not work. Even though both of them are fuel, they are both fuel and kerosene, or petrol and kerosene, they are both fuels. Kerosene will never work for a car. All right. So you cannot use the wrong fuel or the wrong tool on the particular machine. You have to use the right one. This is something that I've tried and tested over and over again. You cannot just use any kind of book that feels great. And unfortunately, for people who are fiction writers, you cannot use a fiction book to start this machine as well. There is a whole other framework for how fiction writers can actually sell their books and make $100,000. There's a different conversation about that, but that's not this conversation. So I just wanted you to be clear about those. Say, I wrote a storybook about Inyoma and the Little Serpent. Will it work for this thing? The answer is no. It will not work. Oh, it's a children's book that teaches children how to pray. Will it work? I don't think so, unless you're actually planning on being an early childhood educator that is planning on doing something massive with it and not just going from church to church or school to school. Okay? So the 100,000 machine, what does it look like? Like I said in the beginning, there are 4 gears in this machine, 4 important gears. If you remove one gear out of this machine, it will collapse. If you spoil one gear and you don't do it right, it will destroy the entire machine. You have to do it right. The very first gear, as you can see here in the red gear, is your message. Your message is basically what people get a sense of. People know that you do when they come across your book. Okay, when they come across your messages, when they come across your videos, when they come across your content, your message should be clear throughout your content, throughout your brand. And one of the best ways to communicate your message to your audience is through your book. That's why I have to share with you the 4 types of books first before I came to this, because you may say, oh, I have a book, but it's your message in that book. If you've been writing books, but people cannot tell what your message is, you probably need to go and write a brand new book so that you can communicate your message, because your book is your manifesto. Your book is your manifesto. This is where you share your message to the world. Your message talks about what it is that you do, who you do it for, and how you do it. What it is that you do for and how you do it. That is what your message should cover. If people don't know who you are, don't know if they can even work with you, if they cannot see themselves in you when they read your book or when they listen to you speak, then either your message is faulty or you're not talking to the right people. Okay, so your book is the first step in this machine. You must have the right book. You must have the right book. Okay, so your message is very important. You need to get clear on your message. If you're here and you're struggling and you don't have clarity on your message yet, you need to get clarity. You need to ask yourself, who am I? What do I do? What do I help people accomplish? Who are the people that I help people? Who are the people that I help? And what exactly do I do for them? How do I help them? If you don't get these things clear, it's very hard for you to move to the next stage. So you must get your messaging right, and you must get your message inside of your book, and you must make sure that that book is distributed as possible. Now you understand why when I had the opportunity to actually sell something to a massive audience, I didn't just go and sell a course. I didn't just go and sell something that was huge and highly priced. I wanted to give people the opportunity to get to know me on a first step basis. I had a book that basically covered my message that says, oh, everybody has a book in them, and I want to help you turn your book into reality. I want to see you turn your possibilities into reality, and I know you can do that through your book. You have something to share with the world, and it's time that you created and did something with that. And once people were able to encounter a message through that book, it was easy to sell them on a class, and easy to sell them on a course, and easy to sell them on a coaching program, and easy to sell them on a publishing project, because they had encountered my message. So I hope that you begin to have these ideas, okay? Making 512,000 naira in 2 days was because the message was clear. From the message that I shared on the platform to the message that was in the book and the testimonials of people who were buying the book, it helps to actually sell that. Okay, so that first step is your message, and you convey your message through your book. Yes, you can convey your message through videos and others, but for this particular machine to work, you must have your message in a book that can be easily accessible by people. The next step is your customer journey. The next gear in this machine to ensure that this machine is turning correctly is your customer journey. What is your customer journey? It's basically the journey that your customers go with you. There's a different terminology for customer journey in the business, in the corporate business space. Okay, I'm not talking about that customer journey. I am talking about the customer journey where the customer has met you and you're taking them from one level to another level, from an unhappy path to a happy path, from a place where they are sad and confused to a place where they are absolutely satisfied and joyful. Okay, so how do you get your customer when a customer comes to you? They may come to you, maybe they are sad and confused. They may come to you when they probably don't have clarity, or they have clarity, but they don't know the next step to take, or they know the next step to take, but they don't know exactly how to take the steps. All right. So each person that comes in contact with you is on a different level in their journey. You must anticipate those levels by creating your framework. So your framework is basically your own unique set of steps to helping people go from point A to point E, or point A to point F, or point A to point C. How can you help people achieve the highest level of satisfaction in 5 to 7 steps? How can you help people achieve the highest level of satisfaction? Take them step by step, hand in hand, to achieve the highest level of satisfaction. You do this through your framework. If you don't have a framework, it's hard for you to take people on a journey, because your framework is the map that you use to lead the way and guide your people to the promised land. Okay? So before you even start promising anything to people, you must ensure that you have the map in place. So many people are out here, you're teaching classes, you're creating courses, you're coaching people, and you're very blind because you've refused to create your own map. You go and read something from a book or learn something from someone else's course, and you go and start replicating it. However, those people's audience and your audience are very different. Those people's message and your messages are different. Their experiences and your experiences are different. You cannot be using someone else's map to take your own customers to a promised land. It is no longer your promised land. It is someone else's promised land. That is why people are confused at the end of their coaching program and they don't understand what it is they're doing. Or you see people that drop off halfway because they cannot follow you anymore. They are lost. They are confused. Are we together? Are we together? Are there people who have experienced that? I'm not asking people who are coaches now, whether you've coached people without a framework. But I want to ask you, have you tried to work with somebody and you realize that, oh my, this thing is not making sense to me. I don't understand what this person, okay, who is this person? What are they talking about? Right? Who's this person? I don't follow. I don't get it. Like, I'm not understanding what this person promised and what I am seeing right now. They are not the same thing. Oh. What's going on? Right? Have you ever experienced that kind of thing in your life? How does it feel when somebody promises you, oh, this course is going to change your life. It's the next thing since sliced bread. Come and pay your blah, 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 blah. And you pay and you're going through and you're like, well, what the person promised me and what I'm saying now, there are different things. Oh. That's because the person hasn't yet developed their framework, or they're trying to use someone else's framework to teach. I will never teach. A coach of mine taught me back in 2017, 2018. I have an amazing coach that taught me the power of frameworks. I didn't like it initially. I didn't understand it until to attend other people's classes, and I said, okay, now I get it. When I see somebody trying to replicate another person's program or try to copy another person's book or try to copy another person's course, and then they are lost themselves because they are not the originators of the framework, you understand why frameworks are important. So if you're here, you're somebody who writes, you're a content writer, you're an author, you're a coach, you're a digital product creator, you teach classes online, you create online courses, you do walkthrough tutorials, you have a service that you render, please begin to sit down now and get clear on your customer journey. How do I get my customers from unhappy to absolutely satisfied in 5 steps, 6 steps, or 7 steps? Don't have too many steps so that you don't confuse people. In fact, I usually tell people 5 steps is the maximum. If you can, 5 steps. People are like, oh, but there are so many things. Try and compress so many things into the 5 steps. Okay? So you can see my machine now doesn't have many 4 parts. This is my framework to building $100,000 machine using your book. All right? So the first part is your message. I cover a lot with that. The second part is your customer journey. How do you map your journey for your customer? How do you create a map that your customer can actually follow? So that when you talk to them about their coaching path and what you're going to accomplish with them, they can actually see themselves going through that journey. At every point in time, when they accomplish one particular level, they are excited because they've done something. They've had a major accomplishment. If your customer is not achieving, incremental transformations throughout their journey with you, there is a problem with your map. There is a problem with your framework. So you need to fix your customer journey by fixing your framework. Okay? The third part is the promise or the transformation. Now that you now understand where you're going to, you have the map. It's now easy for you to exact and tell people the exact kind of transformation or the exact kind of promise you're offering them. You cannot offer transformation or promise if you don't have a map. You cannot offer people a promised land when you don't have the map to the promised land. You don't have GPS, you don't have map, you don't have guide, nothing. And you want to offer people transformation? No. So in your transformation or your promise, this is conveyed through your offer. Now, here is a huge, huge conundrum. When I mention offer, people begin to think, oh, offer course, offer book, offer coaching program, offer membership. That is not your offer. Oh. That is a product. Your offer is the promise. Your offer is not something that you sell. Your offer is something that allows you to create the thing that you sell. Am I together? Are we catching Rema in this class? I feel like there's some amazing Rema that is going on in this class. All right. Your offer is not what you sell. Your offer is what enables you to create what to sell. Okay. So, for example, I have an offer that helps people go from no idea what to write whatsoever to becoming published and profiting. Every other thing that I create under that, my A to Z of ebook publishing, the business of writing books, book to millions, smart profitable authors, profitable writing masterclass, all of those, entrepreneur business builder, all of those are products that deliver on that transformation, that deliver on that promise. Okay. I don't know why I'm excited, but I'm just excited to share this with you. Because this thing confuses a lot of people. You hear offer, you hear product, you're like, are they not the same? No, they are not the same. The offer is the transformation that you offer to people. All right, that's why it's called an offer. You offer a promise, you offer a transformation. How you then bring about the transformation is when you now talk about your product. So here, you're not talking about, your transformation. People say, okay, but my message, where does my message and my offer, they sound like the same thing? No, they're not. Your message is overarching, it's massive, it's broad, it's big. It basically encapsulates who you are as a person and what your purpose is about. Okay, so for your message can be, I want people to be able to live a happy, fulfilled life as a couple or as marital. Let's say you're a relationship coach. My message is to help people to be able to live happy, fulfilled lives in their marriage. You can now have an offer that helps people to be able to find the right spouse. Are you seeing it? So your message has different branches. Different branches. So your offer comes from the framework itself because your message is overarching. Your framework is actually showing people how to go step by step till they achieve the final boss of transformation and the final boss of promise. Each of those stages in your framework is an offer. So for example, for me, this is my framework that has part 1, the message, part 2, the customer journey, part 3, the transformation of the promise, and then there's part 4. So I can create an offer basically to help people get clear on their message. Under that offer, I can have, how they can pick the right books, how they can pick the right idea for their business to run, whatever it is that they can actually launch the first time, how to build the right audience that understands their message and build know, like, and trust. All that can come under the message. So those are offers under that message. All right. Then another offer can be customer journey. How I can help people to be able to design and create their own. That's an offer. It's in itself. So here, offer, here, offer, here, offer, here, offer, according to my framework. Okay. So you look at your framework and each step itself is an offer. Each step is an offer. So this is my framework, the $100,000 machine. Step 1, message. The offer here is to help people get clear on their message so that they can create the right books that will connect with their audiences. That's offer 1. Offer 2, customer journey. My offer here can be helping people craft the right frameworks to take their customers from unsatisfied to satisfied, or take their customers from confused to clear, or take their customers from unhappy to happy. Okay. That is in itself is an offer. Then this one here, transformation. My offer here can be how to help people understand the kind of transformation that they create for their customers and derive offers from their framework. That in itself is an offer. So I'm using my own self and my own framework now offers. Okay, so that is the offer. Now let's move to the 4th gear. The 4th gear is the deliverables. So remember I said that the offer is the promise. The product is how you deliver the promise. So the next part is your deliverables. This is now how you deliver the transformation. You ask yourself, now that I know that this is the offer that I want to put out there, what's the best way to deliver on the promise of this offer? Is it better for me to create a book? and sell it? Is it better for me to actually teach a class? Is it better for me to put this knowledge into an online course? Is it better for me to actually create a membership program out of this offer? Now, depending on the transformation, how long the transformation is going to take, how much is required for that transformation, that will determine the kind of products you will create. If it's something that doesn't necessarily require you holding people hand to hand, you can create an ebook, you can create a course, you can class, because people will not necessarily require you working with them one-on-one in order for them to achieve that transformation. So you can create a book out of it. You can create a course out of it. You can create a class out of it. Now, you know, ask yourself, okay, between book, class, and course, which one is better? Next thing again, you want to ask yourself, how much transformation is going to, what's the best kind of way to offer this transformation? Do I want to actually create a book that teaches people how to do something? Do I want to create a book that guides people through the process? Or do I want to talk? Do I feel that it will be this transformation or this promise will be best communicated via a spoken word, via them listening to my voice? How much is contained in this particular transformation? Is it this actual step-by-step process that takes a long while to accomplish? If the answer is, oh, I can actually deliver on this transformation in a 1-hour class or a 2-hour class, I don't need to write a book about it. I don't need to create an online course about it. I can simply just teach a class, record the class, and then put it out there. Or I can teach it live, just as I'm doing to you guys now. So like I said before in the beginning, that I could have actually made this a book, the $100,000 machine, which I will, a very short book, probably to accompany this video. When it comes out as a paid product, I will probably make a book or a guide or put it up on Amazon. All right. So I could do that. But this amount of information I'm sharing with you doesn't necessarily warrant an online course, because there's not that much that I could actually put into it for it to warrant an online course. So you have to use your common sense to ask yourself, is this transformation going to be best put out as a book or as a course or as a paid class or as a membership program, or as for example, I have a membership program called the 1K Collective that basically helps people to achieve consistent $1,000 months, weeks, and days. I know that kind of achievement for the kind of people that I want to work with will take a while, at least 6 months. So it will not make sense for me to write a book about it or to just put an online course about it, even though there's so much I could put. It makes sense for me to actually hold these people accountable through a process as they accomplish this particular goal. All right. So I could either create a mastermind, a very long mastermind of 3 to 5 or 6 months mastermind, or I could create a 1-year membership. I chose to create a 1-year membership because I felt it would be best having involvement in the process for these people while giving them the tools and resources to help them. Okay. So you have to be smart about how best your products will be delivered. Are we good? So just to recap, the $100,000 machine has 4 gears. The first gear is the message, which you actually deliver through your book. And I shared with you the 4 types of books that you can publish. The second gear is your customer journey. This basically is how you deliver, how you deliver your framework. Okay. The third gear is your offer. This is basically how you showcase or you share your promise. When you're talking about different products, you're mentioning the overarching offer and then specifically talking about this particular deliverable and how it will help them achieve the transformation. So that's the final gear, which is your products. Okay. So remember that your framework, your offer, your products, your book, they're all different gears. And each gear is very important. You cannot remove one gear and expect this machine to work. You cannot remove customer journey and have just the 3 other parts and expect that it's going to work. It won't work. Okay. So you have to have all 4 gears in place for them to work. Now, here's an important thing. Every machine requires oil, requires lubrication for it to work efficiently. Okay. Every machine requires oil. It requires some sort of lubrication for it to work efficiently. If your machine is not lubricated constantly, it will eventually die. There will be so much friction, it will just fall apart and break apart. So what is this oil that you must use to lubricate your machine? Communication is that oil. Communication is the oil. Whether you're communicating through your words, or you're communicating through your spoken language, or you're communicating through pictures, or you're communicating through visual aids, you must consistently communicate. And one of the best ways to communicate is through writing. You want to build a $100,000 book blueprint, you must write. Not just writing the book, but writing the kind of content that communicates your message to your audience and communicates your framework to your audience and communicates your transformation to your audience and communicates your products. Even when you want to sell your products, you will still write sales copy, right? You will write it. So when you want to talk about your offer, you will still write it. Before you guys got on this platform, you sourced about this particular program and you joined this group and you're here now. If not for the written word, you would have not been here today. If not that I communicated this particular deliverable or this particular offer to you, you wouldn't be here today. So you cannot be here in this day and age and say, oh, I don't know how to write, or I don't like writing, I don't want to write. There are ways to go around it. You don't have to be writing long essays every single day, but you have to do something. Okay, you have to do something. There are ways to go about it. So if you want to communicate on today's platforms, you must be able to put your words into thoughts. You may not necessarily be writing it by hand. There are many tools that have text to speech to text that you can, dictate, and then the thing will write it for you, and then you put it into an AI platform like Quillbot, and it will help to fix all the grammatical errors and everything, and then you publish it. Okay, so there's absolutely no excuse for you not wanting to actually communicate. If you want people who would eventually give you money, you must learn to communicate. You must learn to speak and you must learn to write. Even as a writer, you must learn to speak, because eventually you get called on platforms to speak, just as I was called in 2020 when I was offered the opportunity to be able to talk to 3,200 people live. And I had to communicate my value, communicate my message, and communicate a transformation or a promise that made 256 people purchase a 2,000 naira book in just 48 hours and helped me do this and much more. Okay, this is, I say $100,000 blueprint because I feel like that's the minimum I can go to talk about what you can achieve. I know that everybody is not me, so this price or this particular price point is adjusted. I've been able to do more than that in my business. I've been blessed, but anybody can do this in the next 3 years. Anybody can do $50,000 in the next 3 years. All you need to do is understand this 100 machine, okay? And understand that the value is in communication to lubricate it. Now, in 2017, I taught a class called a Profitable Writing Career Masterclass. And in 1 year, I was able to produce over 10 first-time millionaires. People that had never done $1 million in their business in a year before were able to do that. And dozens of six-figure business owners running their own independent writing career. In fact, the writing scene in Nigeria exploded after 2007, and I'm very blessed to have been a huge part of that. Now, any of these testimonials from these people who, whether they're making their first millions or their first 2 millions or their first 100,000 or so from the writing career, any of them could be you. Now, imagine being handed the blueprint for starting and monetizing and scaling your writing skill from someone who has not just only done it successfully for over 6 years, but has taught others how to do the same. And all you need to do is just follow the steps that I will show you in the course of 3 videos that I'm about to share with you right now. And you will open the doors to multiple streams of income like you've never seen before. And I'm not just saying stuff that only I have done. There are a number of people that some of you may already know. You can go and ask them. And I'm very sure that they are honest and truthful people, and they will tell you, yes, Edirin Edewor had a huge part to play. And even if it's not huge, a small part to play in my journey. People like Kazim Abulore, who's a teacher, who went from being a teacher earning 10,000 naira per month to building his own house in Lagos. Ask Ijomati Daniels, who's a fantastic content writer that is now living with her husband and kids in the UAE. Ask Okoye Ijomati Dicta, who has one of the best writing platforms in Africa and is hosting the Younger More conference, inviting people like the amazing Daddy J to her event in Asaba. I think it's this weekend coming up. Seun Robinson, who's a doctor now, Dr. Seun Robinson, who, as an academic, he's doing fantastically well in peak performance coaching. Or Hamaya Frama, who's a brilliant content writer. All of these people I've mentioned and more have gone through my Profitable Writing Career Masterclass. And I can tell you for a fact that it had a positive impact in their career. And any of these people could be you. And it's not just them. Over 200 people have passed through my previous writing career masterclasses. And they've built multiple 7-figure and 8-figure businesses from their writing skills till date. And the possibilities of what your writing skills can do for you are endless. Absolutely endless. There's so much you can do. For me, for example, I've won awards. I've been nominated for the Future Awards Africa Prize for Media. I was the only nominated because I had a Facebook group. I've been invited for international speaking engagements since as far back as 2018 to Kenya, to Republic of Benin, to Tanzania, to where else have I been again? I can't even remember, right? Hosted my first international speaking engagement back in 2018 in Tanzania, and a second one in Dubai in 2019, where I invited people like John Obidi, Nanke Essien, Victor Epubasi, and amazing speakers for a business retreat in the world's tallest hotel. Recognitions all over the place. Africa 40 Under 40 awards and advanced media. So many things that I've been able to accomplish. I've been able to build a business that allows me to live the life that I want. As somebody who suffers a chronic illness, I'm able to actually work from home and have flexibility of time to be able to take care of myself so that I don't, crash and burn. The possibilities of what you can do are endless. So I'm asking you, if you could find yourself in a situation where you have a skill that produces thousands and thousands of dollars for you, what would your life look like? I want you to imagine it and think about it. There are over 300 of you inside of this group right now. Imagine what your life would look like if you're able to have a skill and a blueprint that actually helps you to achieve the life of your dreams. What will it look like for you? Will you be able to move out of your current apartment into your own home? Will you be able to finally buy a new car for yourself or for your wife? Will you finally be able to give your children new schools so that they can have better quality education? Will you be able to achieve your dreams of moving to another country like I did in 2020 when I relocated to the UAE? Will it be able to allow you to be able to travel the world? Will it be able to allow you to finally go out from living check to check and month to month and hand to mouth every single month? Will it allow you to be able to pay your rent on time? Will an extra 100,000 naira a month be a massive relief for you in your life? Would an extra 200, 500,000 naira a month do for you? I just need you to take a moment. Just imagine what your life would be like if you had this particular skill, right? So I want to invite you to get your hands on the Profitable Writing Career Masterclass. It's already pre-recorded, so you don't have to attend another live class. However, because it's pre-recorded doesn't mean that you now shelf it in one of those your many courses. The people who I mentioned their names are people who took action after they attended the classes. In a class, you're going to learn how to improve your writing skills, even if you've never written before, how to improve your confidence as a writer so you show up strong every single day. The different ways you can monetize your writing skills beyond just writing books and writing content for people. There are so many ways you can monetize your writing skills. How to pick an income stream to start with so that you're not overwhelmed and confused and wondering which one should I start with first. The power of writing your own book and publishing internationally, like what it did for me. I shockingly found myself inside of some American entrepreneur's book where he was listing the top 100 Facebook groups for entrepreneurs globally and listed my group back in 2018, I think, or 2019. If you doubt me, go and find the book. The book is called How to Be a Capitalist Without Any Capital by Nathan Latka. He's a Wall Street Journal bestselling author. Go and check out the book, right? That's the power of writing your own book and publishing internationally. You will also learn how to launch your writing career and scale to 7-figure and 8-figure years. You will also learn the step-by-step process to building and scaling your business so that when you're starting, you're hitting the ground running and you're building momentum and you're not slowing down. You also learn how to build an audience of people who will buy from you and pay for your premium service, and then how to attract international clients as well. I've been blessed that since 2017 December, I've been working with international clients. I know that there are people who say, oh, you must conquer local before you go global. I call BS on that because that was not my experience at all. I actually found myself conquering global before I actually started working with my local audience. And I've constantly worked with both local and international audiences ever since. And if I can do it, you can do it as well. I didn't even have to leave Nigeria in order to start working with global audience members. So if I can do it, you can do it. I'm just a simple girl from Warri. I'm not amazing. I wasn't brought up with massive wealth. I couldn't get a job even after graduating at the top of my class, right? But it didn't stop me. I started doing different businesses and I failed in 9 different businesses. 9 of my businesses crashed and burned. But I continued to learn and I continued to work hard and I continued to do the work that needed to be done and learn from my mistakes. And today I'm grateful for all those mistakes because they've made me who I am today. But I'm not saying this just to make you feel, oh, she's amazing or whatever. I know I'm amazing. I don't need to tell people out to feel that about myself. But I'm not telling you to impress you, but to impress upon you that even you, no matter where you are in your life, you can pick yourself up. Even if you're suffering a debilitating illness, I know because I've been there and I am currently in that boat right now. Been there, done that, bought that t-shirt. All right. I am I'm somebody who struggles every single day with pain, unimaginable pain, but I still show up because this is something that I love. Beyond that, it actually is absolutely profitable and you can do it yourself as well. So there's so much you can learn in the Profitable Writing Career Masterclass. Now, even with all of the things I've shared, there is no way I can even charge. If I say I want to charge $1,000 for this particular masterclass, it's absolutely worth it. But because I want to ensure that people can actually get their hands on it, I price it at $20,000. And even at $20,000, it's an absolute steal. However, because I have a very strong feeling that 5 people here, I don't know why that number 5 just came to my mind, right? I have a feeling that 5 people here are going to sign up to work with me one-on-one in my $1,000 coaching program before the year is over. I have a strong feeling. And I have a strong feeling that this Profitable Writing Career Masterclass is going to be what will help you to get to that point where you're saying, okay, Edirin, I'm ready to work with you now. Where should we start? And what do we need to do? How do I accelerate this process? All right. So because I have that very strong conviction, I'm actually putting down the price for my Profitable Writing Career program. And I'm putting it out just 5,000 naira, but I want to make sure that the people that I want to work with are serious people. So it's only going to be 5,000 for 24 hours only. Only 5,000 for the next 24 hours. And that's the link at the bottom for you to get it. edirinedewo.com/PWC. I'm going to see if I can type it. edirinedewo.com/PWC. Right? So that is it. Make sure that you can click on the link if you can and go get it. The first 10 people, however, I'm not done. I think I'm not done. The first 10 people who actually are able to cop this will not just get the Profitable Writing Career Masterclass, but you're also going to be getting my amazing program called Cash on Demand, how to generate instant cash in 7 easy steps. In 7 easy steps. Okay. Now, this Cash on Demand is what I use every time that I want to maybe travel or I need money quickly or I want to top up my bank account or something and I need quick money. This is it for me. Okay. So please make sure that you are among the first 10 people to get the Profitable Writing Career so that you can also get my Cash on Demand. I'm going to send it to the first 10 people by tomorrow. I know that before the end of tonight, in fact, probably before I even decide that I want to come and say, hey guys, hope you enjoy the class, the first 10 slots are going to be gone. But make sure that you're among those 10 people. I will not say, oh, come and start commenting done when you're here so that you will not intimidate other people. But if you want to say done, that's great as well. All right. So make sure you go get it. Get the Profitable Writing Career Masterclass. Once you pay for it, you will get access to it immediately. I also added a bonus there called Book to Millions. It is a webinar where I basically broke down exactly what those 4 different types of book every expert must write are. Okay, I gave more examples there. I explained in details and I show you how you can actually turn your book to millions. It's a precursor to the Profitable Writing Career Masterclass. So I combined it together. So those of you who have Profitable Writing Career Masterclass before on Seller, you now have access to that as well. So make sure that you get it. It's 3 videos plus that one bonus video and another bonus book that's inside of that called The Business of Writing Books. So if people want to build a business just writing books, there is a book inside there that teaches you exactly how to do that as well. It's absolutely free, absolutely downloadable. The book itself alone is 5,000 naira. So it's just what the entire cost I'm giving you tonight. So make sure that you get it. Make sure that you don't waste your time at all so that you can also get the cash on demand. I'm really excited to work with you soon. Whoever the first 5 people are that are going to work with me directly on your coaching, I cannot wait. I have some members of my coaching clients that are inside here. That's how amazing they are. Even though they are paying for the coaching, they still show up to this free stuff and they still show up and participate. It tells me something about the kind of people that I'm working with. I'm excited to work with these kinds of people because they are hungry for knowledge and they're always excited to execute. And that's it. Execute. So prove yourself right today. All right. And if you're here and you're saying, should I get this thing or should I not get this thing? Should I eat the money or not? I know that whatever it is that is making you have doubts is not my program. You've been here, you've listened to me, you know that I know my stuff. You've seen proof, you've heard, you know that you can sit down and begin to take action on 4-step framework on the $100,000 blueprint I just shared with you right now. You know that it's valuable. So you're not doubting the content of what I'm about to give to you. What you're doubting is yourself. If you're here and you have already blocked your ear and say, Edirin has come again, you're not doubting me. You cannot doubt me, you know. But what you're doubting is yourself. And I keep wondering, like, how long will you remain in self-doubt until you actually take the next step to changing something about your life? You know, it took me 4 months to finally agree that I was going to do something different with my life. I forced myself to become a mindset coach back in January of 2017. And I was insistent that I was going to be a mindset coach. And when Steve Harris told me that I could write a book to teach other people how they can get published, I doubted myself. I wasn't doubting Steve Harris telling me that, oh, Edirin, you can't do it. I was doubting my own capabilities. But as soon as I was able to break through with that doubt, my life changed. Steve Harris is one person that is directly responsible for my success. And I will continue to talk about it till the day I die. He was directly responsible for my success. And I'll be grateful to him for the rest of my life. And I needed somebody like that at that point in my life to push me, to tell me, Edirin, you're better than where you are right now. And you can be doing so much more. And I hope that I am that voice for somebody today who's doubting themselves. You've seen this, you know it's great, you know it works, but you're doubting yourself. And you're wondering, am I good enough for this thing? People really want to read anything from me. You can only find that answer for yourself when you actually take the step to try to do something. Okay. So somebody is asking if you can pay directly to my bank account. There is a link. When you click on the link and go there, when you get to the part where you're supposed to pay, at the bottom, they'll ask you, do you want to pay through bank transfer? Just click on that and make your transfer. That way you can pay via bank transfer in case you're having issues with cards. Okay. Now, in order for you to get access for this, you have to make payment through that link, please. Okay. So, thank you so much for listening to me. I'm excited to work with the next 5 people because I literally have slots open for my coaching program right now. And I'm excited to work with the next 5 people who are ready to supercharge their businesses, who are ready to have somebody push them, encourage them to take the next step in their business. Thank you so much for listening. I believe that the replay is going to be up. I don't know how soon because Telegram is very funny with their downloads, but I will do my best to upload it as soon as I can. So probably within the hour, I will upload the replay of this webinar onto this Telegram group so that you can go back and watch it again because I don't want you to miss it. However, this replay is only going to be up till Monday morning. After Monday morning, I'll take it down and it's going to be paid. In fact, here it is. If you're here and you're going to be buying Profitable Writing Career Masterclass, this webinar is going to be added into the Profitable Writing Career Masterclass and you have access to it without having to pay. It's going to be paid. I'm going to put a price on it and I'll tell you what the price is and I'll put the link for you to pay after Monday. But those of you who will be getting the Profitable Writing Career Masterclass will be getting the replay absolutely free. So you won't have to pay for it. Okay. So again, the link is edirinedewo.com/PWC. That's the link. Make sure you go get it now so that you can get cash on demand. I'm seeing a number of people putting done and done and done there. So that's really great. Expect an email tomorrow on cash on demand. In fact, when I send the email, I'll announce it inside of this group. Like, hey guys, I've sent your email with your cash on demand. It's an audio program. So it's easy for you to download and listen to on your drive to work or chilling at home. Okay. Have a wonderful evening. And if you have any questions, just place them in the chats and I'll be happy to answer them, and expect the replay up between now and the next hour or so. It's been a fantastic time talking with you. My name is Edirin Edewor. As always, have a wonderful evening and look forward to watching the replay.